Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy YVNG Umar back at it again with a new video, and today I would like to talk about something serious. So, if you guys didn't know already, well, I'll just start out and say it. I used to be a nicotine smoker, a vapor, if you will. You know those new electric e-cigarettes that you can get from the store virtually for like 15, like $10, 15, 20, like yada yada, it's usually those like sorts of like a rod sort of thing that you put into your mouth, you breathe it in, smoke comes out, and then you can store it in your pocket. Not like a cigarette, you know. With the cigarette, you have it lit on. You have to keep smoking it until it's done, like it goes all the way down. Not with e-cigs. I mean, you pee it once. It's electronic, so everything's pretty much regulated. And you just either A, you buy pods for the jewel cart, or B, you buy like disposables, which I used to do. I used to buy like a lot of brands. It would be Elf bars, Diamond bars. There used to be the Air Bar Deluxe, Air Bar Box. These were like what, 15, $20 around, so you get it at any pretty much any smoke shop available. Uh, and guaranteed that most of those smoke shops, they wouldn't even ID you necessarily. I mean, you kind of have to know them in a way, but most of the time they wouldn't even ID you because like you know, everyone's just trying to make money and get through the day. That's all. At the end of the day, but yeah, no. Going back to it, I pretty much spend like $20 or so, like every 2 weeks or so, um, with just getting like 5,000, 6,000 puff sort of devices that I can smoke, and I would do it at the most random locations too. Like in school, I'd go to the bathrooms and start smoking it. If my teacher wasn't looking, I'd just duck down under my table and go like, I'd I used to what's it called? I would just do it in my room, do it whenever I was alone in the house, or just whenever I had that sort of craving. And with nicotine, it's highly addictive. So like once you do get on it, it's very hard to get off. You know, you just want to keep doing it because I didn't even know this before, but nicotine itself is this chemical that once released into your bloodstream travels down to your brain, not necessarily your hormones, right? Or where your hormones regulated, that part of the brain, and essentially multiplies it tenfold with a sort of hormone called dopamine, I think. I don't remember the exacts. You guys can search it up online, but um, it basically amplifies and like your feelings of just relaxation and anxiety and everything. It less. I don't know if it lessens that necessarily. I mean, most ads that I watch, they the ads usually say that it's actually worse for anxiety. It's worse for just general things. But you know, I just used to do that, and I don't know. I think it honestly relaxed me, and that's one of the reasons why I would do it. The second reason being that I'm a pretty chubby guy myself, and I'm not really the best with weight. Whenever weight comes into question, I usually try to avoid it, or ignore it outright. Um, and I've been insecure about my weight for a long time, but not anymore. I mean, I've kind of accepted it. But no, before I was very insecure about my weight, and the only way I can not eat, like just not eat, you know, is just do the nicotine, just vape. I would call it Nick, for short. But let's just call that for now. So yeah, no, I would do the Nick. I would pull the Nick, and it would basically take away that food craving for some time. I wouldn't even need to eat. There were some days where I would just like essentially just live off of Nick totally. Like no food whatsoever in my system. Maybe like one meal. Of course, it's kind of OD if you don't eat. Like if you do live off of Nick and everything, but you know, maybe one meal or so. But yeah, no, it was still bad. It was horrible. But like you know, but the good thing is, I mean, I used to do this for like 3 years or so, just like during high school. I don't know if I'm necessarily the one, like, cause I'll be honest with you, my actions are my actions. I don't blame anybody for that part, right? Nobody controls me. Nobody just tells me what to do or whatnot. Well, except my parents, but nobody tells me what to do or whatnot. Nobody, nobody's in control of me. Besides God, of course, as well. But nobody's in control of me. Whatever I do is of my own free will, is of my own doing. Okay, so let me acknowledge that. Second part being that kind of lost my train of thought, but second part being is that you know, like it's necessarily just peer pressure at that point, cause um like back in high school, the years I went, you know, I had to deal with COVID during 2020 around, so I graduated around 2022. I'm in college right now, but I graduated around 2022. Before that, I went through COVID, freshman year, junior year, and senior year basically. Everyone would just be vaping. It was kind of the new wave, like the sort of popular trend. That's why there were so many smoke shops opening up. With the legalization of marijuana as well, which is crazy. A lot of smoke shops just found the idea and the audacity to just kind of monetize those sort of conflicts. They figured out, hey, I can make a killing, like if I like open up a smoke shop on this block and I sell to kids and everything. um they just realized that, and then now you have like two or three smoke shops in like every single corner of the city. It's insane. um but that being said, just it was just this new wave, and I would follow along. I would be like a bandwagoner, honestly. um I just I didn't want people thinking I was not cool. So that's like one of the major three reasons why I did it. But eventually it took some time. I managed to get off of it. I quit officially. I promise you. I quit Nick, and the night I did quit Nick, I'll explain to you in full detail. It's like I was having problems with my health and everything, specifically stamina. It was at an all-time low. I couldn't run for like a few minutes without just gasping for air, and that's also due to Nick. Apparently, I didn't know this, but nicotine causes your blood vessels to constrict, meaning they tighten. You know, blood vessels they're supposed to be wide so that the blood can travel easily from each part of the body and instantaneously, right? But with nicotine, it constricts those same blood vessels that are sending the blood from every single part of the body. It constricts them, so it's harder for that blood that carries the oxygen that you need. It's hard for that oxygen to go to the parts you need it, of course, and that's what makes you like gasp for air. That's what makes you necessarily just breathless, if you know what I mean. You know. Um, but yeah, no, I was dealing with that for a long time, and I was denying the fact that it was the reason being was that nicotine was doing this to me. I wouldn't just believe it. I would just keep going. But eventually I realized that, and and then I had a moment of self evaluation. I was like, do I really want to continue this? Do I want to keep going like this way just to impress people? Like, this is not even me. I'm not this sort of person. I'm a better person than that, you know. And I'm not trying to be egotistical or anything. This is just things I told myself in order to like get off of it, like just in general. Cause I also used to have like self confidence issues. It was a lot of things. There was just a lot of things here and there. It was complicated, you know. I don't want to get into all those complications because it would take like hours to talk about. But essentially, I realized that my self worth is much more than I desire, and that if I want to keep going, like, you know, continue on with a better future for me and my family, then I'm gonna need to let this go. So I opened up my balcony, the nick that I had in my hand, the vape device. It was a Tyson nick. The apparently I didn't know this, but Mike Tyson made nicks, yada yada yada. But you know, I looked at it for a few seconds. I was like, "So long, Nick," and "fuck you," and I chucked it out as far as I can. Uh, and let me tell you, that was like one of the most exhilarating moments I ever had. Like, I was both parts horrified at what I did, and both parts extremely satisfied with what I did. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's if you've ever been an addict, then obviously then you know the feeling that the first step to recovery would be to let go of the thing that you're, you know, that's causing the issue, that's causing the problem. You know, for for tobacco smokers, that would be a pack of cigarettes. For vape users like me, that would be the nicotine device that I would smoke out of. I chucked that stuff, and I made a whole pack. I told myself, this is the road to recovery. You wanna be better in life. You wanna aspire to other people's level. You wanna be your own person and everything. Yada yada. This is the beginning of it. You know. And much to my dismay, that actually ended up becoming true. You know, I figured if I could keep my brain occupied, that I would even need to think about it, that I wouldn't need to smoke it. And what do you know? It worked. I mean, I'm focusing more on my education. I don't even have a job necessarily, so I'm focusing more on myself as well, self improvement. I'm going to the gym a lot more. I'm getting into MMA training, just boxing and everything. Um, I'm learning the odds and ends for the economy, just stock trading and whatnot. Learning how to hustle, grind, and make money as much as possible. I'm learning more tactics for YouTube and everything. How to be a better vlogger. This is just like, you know, sort of practice run, if you will. But yeah, no, essentially, I just figured I should keep my mind busy, and that'd be the easiest way to get off of it, you know. I, I'll admit, after high school, it was a lot easier because I didn't see a lot of people just vaping in general. I didn't see a lot of people vaping. And when it's out of my line of sight, then it's kind of out of thinking. But that being said, I have a few friends. I'm not gonna say who, but I have a few friends that still do it. And every time I look at them, I don't even think. Honestly, at this point, I don't really think about smoking anymore. I don't really think about vaping. There may be some times there I may be feeling the craving and everything, but majority of the time, I had that self respect in myself enough that a I can trust my word. B, I'm a man of my word, that whatever I say, that I have to follow it. It's part of that sort of self integrity thing. And C, it's part of life. You know, if you're an addict, then it's kind of like an alcoholic swimming with whiskey. You know, swimming with whiskey when they're not supposed to necessarily be drinking any of it. It's 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 like a whole whirlpool is surrounded by that sort of thing that you crave, and you have to have that sort of willpower to deny it. That this is gonna be bad for you if you keep going. So don't deny it at all costs. You know, think about your family, think about your friends, think about your life, think about your future, think about just think about anything in general that and it'll work. You know, you'll get off of it eventually. It'll work. It'll work. But I give you my word. So I know this story's been way too long, so I'm just gonna end it there. But thank you for listening to me. Please leave a like and subscribe. If you want any more tips, I have a podcast, News for the Ignorant, and also on Instagram. You can check that out. At YVNG Umar. I also have a SoundCloud at YVNG Umar. Please check that out. But I'll post more tips and everything about self recovery, and just ways that you can help yourself. And yeah, but thank you so much for listening, and have a great day. Bye bye.